Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley at SLP Debt Free, and I'm coming to you today with a Q&A. So y'all submitted questions. All of these that I have are questions that were submitted. So I'm gonna just go ahead and jump right in. The first question is, what is your dream job? Okay, so honestly, not to be cliche, but I really think I am doing my dream job now as a speech language pathologist. It really is my dream job. But if I couldn't be an SLP and I had to be something else, I would be an event planner, but a budget event planner. And I'm not just saying that because like I do debt-free stuff. Like I mean that. I would love to have a business where it was people like me who want to throw like really awesome, wonderful, amazing parties, but on a budget. And I can do that. I threw my sister a beautiful 18th birthday luncheon thing. I'll have to show you all pictures some way, shape, or form because it was beautiful. I had my grandma do the florals. It was amazing. I DIY'd a bunch of the stuff and we rented chairs. We used our own tables. It was beautiful. But that would probably be any other job that I would pick other than being an SLP. So another question I got was, what is your budget for Christmas this year? So we basically just list, or I'm the one that does it. I list everybody out and we give gifts for my parents, my husband's parents, my grandparents, his grandmother, those that are, living, and my nieces and nephews, his brother and sister, my sister, and my son, obviously. Okay, so all of the couples get $25, $25 to $30. Okay, it's just tokens of appreciation. It's not anything, extravagant, and it's the same with them. They just give us tokens, something neat, something special, nothing expensive. So adding up all of the family members, not including my son, it's like $390, $400 for all the family members. I can go into detail in a different video on what I give in the confines of that figure, the monetary figure, because you're probably thinking like, that's not a lot of money. But if you shop at Costco, if you go to Home Goods, if you go to TJ Maxx, if you shop Amazon, you can get some awesome stuff. And the way to make gift giving with that small of a figure work is you don't just blow it all on one thing. Because if you get them one thing for 25 bucks, it's like nothing. It doesn't feel like a lot. So I take $25 and I like odd numbers. So I get 3 things. Like for my mom, I did like 2 really nice sweaters and a necklace. And I think I got her a book. So like that all looks good, and it was $30. I shop sales. Like you can give nice gifts without blowing the bank. And I explained in one of my highlight tabs on Instagram how I did budget giving for my nieces and nephews. I have one more nephew on the way. He'll be here in November. And I have my son now. I will be doing my son differently. But for my nieces and nephews, I typically give a clothing item, a really big item, like a big toy or something like that, and then a book. It's been a hit every year. So, okay, someone asked what's my go-to meals. Okay, I eat low carb. And so my go-to meals consist of, I make this chicken broccoli cheesy bake thing. I bake it in the oven, or sometimes I do it in the crock pot, but it's chicken breast, a block of cream cheese, a packet of ranch. You kind of melt the cream cheese a little bit, mix in the ranch packet. Then I mix in some shredded cheddar. Then you toss the chicken in it and the broccoli, and you spread it all in a pan and you bake it. I think I bake for like 20 minutes on whatever a good chicken temperature is. I forget, like 350, 375. Someone asked about newborn during COVID struggles. So I'm assuming you mean just like in general, because I did have COVID when my son was only 4 weeks old, and that was like a whole slew of issues. And I'm sure you can assume what the struggles were with that. But it's been difficult, not impossible, but difficult. I'm a homebody by nature, but I really want to bring my son out and like him not to be cooped up in the house all day long. So for the first 6 to 8 weeks of his life, even my parents wore masks around him all the time. When he got his 2-month shots, I let my parents who watch him, my mom and my dad watch him when I'm at work and during the day, I let them take their masks off around. I just recently went out to a restaurant with him. We sat outside at a Mexican restaurant. Literally nobody was around us. I felt very safe. I had him draped in a muslin cloth blanket in his carrier. He slept the whole time. It was a really good experience. But besides that, I don't take him out shopping. I do my shopping around the days that I work, so he's already at my parents' house, so I don't have to take him out with me. This next person had a 2-part question: what made me want to be an SLP, but the hardest thing about being an SLP. All right, I wanted to be a speech language pathologist because I knew I wanted to do therapy of some sort. My mom was a recreational therapist. It's kind of a non-existent career now, but it was really popular back in the 80s and 90s. And I just always had a heart to do something along those lines. Ooh. I chose SLP because of a good friend of mine in high school's mother is an SLP. And she just raved about it, said it was a great flexible career. She still was doing it at like 60 something years old, super part-time, but she still loved it all those years later. So I did some observing and made my decision freshman year of high school. And that was my goal. And I worked my behind off to get into graduate school. It's so hard to get into grad school as an SLP. If you're an SLP and you're watching this, you know the struggle. I applied to like 8 schools. I got denied flat out from 4, waitlisted at 2 and in at 2. And I finally got off the waitlist at one of the ones I got waitlisted at, but I'd already made my decision and committed. And I'm a pretty good student, I think, and it was still very hard. So the hardest thing about being an SLP, I think, is the documentation. That kind of takes away from it. I mean, you're in medicine, or in allied health, I should say, not in medicine. You're in allied health, you're billing insurance companies, you have to prove what you're doing. I get it, but if I didn't have to do documentation, because I do a lot of it, if I didn't have to do documentation, it would just be amazing. I would love it. Also, another hard thing is difficult caregivers. And I'm not gonna say parents, because I've worked with adults as well, and adults, working with them was even harder to work with their caregivers, because they were kind of in denial about grandma, grandpa, mom, dad's, cognitive state. If they're in the early stages of dementia, they can't come to grips with the fact that their loved one needs extra help. Sometimes difficult caregivers can be kind of but all in all, it's a great job, and I really don't have a lot of complaints. Someone asked, do I have any hobbies or play any instruments? I asked my husband, I said, what are my hobbies, honey? And he said, you don't have any. And my feelings were really hurt. And he was like, all you do is go to work and come home, which is true. And that was, something I did even before COVID. My hobbies, I like to read. I know that's kind of like everyone says that, but I like to read. I like to bake, and I like to cook. I actually really enjoy that. I like to spend time with friends when it's not like COVID craziness. I also really enjoy spending time with family. I love to travel. Do I play instruments? I played the piano. I played for 5 or 6 years competitively. I took the Suzuki method. If you know anything about music or instruments, it was very intense. But I'm no, prodigy or anything. But I did play for 5 years. Okay, so someone asked for me to make a what I eat in a day video, and then someone asked about all my keto tips. So let me just first start off by saying I'm not keto, so don't come at me, you keto people, if I'm saying things or recommending things that aren't good for the keto diet. I am low carb. I would say I'm moderately low carb. When I first started, before I got pregnant, I was strict keto. I did that for about 3 weeks, and then I moved to a more moderate carb intake, I would say. I was at about 50 carbs a day, and today I'm more 75 to 100 carbs a day. So my tips for you are you have to go cold turkey. Okay. If you're still getting bites of ice cream, if you're still using, sugar in your coffee, it's not going to work, because at least for me, and especially with PCOS, I think I have an addiction to sugar. Like, I get a high off of it, of like a physiological high. It releases endorphins, and then I crash. It's not good for me. So I had to go cold turkey away from the sugars. I just had to. If you choose to do keto, I would recommend getting an app so you can actually track your carbs. It helped me realize how much I was actually eating in a day, and to know if I was way off track or if I was more on track. You don't want to become obsessive about it, but it really did help me in the beginning know kind of what to do. And, you know, when I first started, I wasn't eating fruit, so I craved fruit. I love fruit. I craved fruit for like 2 weeks straight. It was miserable. But then I slowly introduced berries back, which berries happen to be my favorite fruit, and they're the lowest carb fruit. So blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries are the lowest carb fruits. Other tip, my nutritionist that I used to have told me, don't eat bars like in excess. Even if they're low net carbs, they can stall weight loss. So use bars sparingly. She also told me a great tip. She said, eat within an hour of waking up. So she said, you need to not eat like constantly. You don't graze all the time, because you don't give your blood sugar enough time to drop down. You're just keeping it at at a all-time high, and so you can never drop. And if you don't drop, it's like something about you, the glucose, and you don't lose weight. So basically, I plateaued one time, and she told me to cut out all bars, make sure I'm eating within an hour of waking up. Don't eat too many nuts because they are low carb, but they have a lot of calories and they will add up. And then also give your body a chance to kind of recover from the blood sugar spikes. Always eat a fat with everything. So like if you choose to eat an apple, eat a piece of cheese or a handful of almonds or something like that to accompany it. Especially now that I'm moderately low carb, that's been my biggest thing. If I want to have something that's a little bit not low carb, like even just a bite of it, I give myself permission to do that, but I always make sure that I have like a fat to go with it, like a cheese stick, and I eat a lot of cheese sticks. You really want to stick to a higher fat, not high fat, but a higher fat, a moderate protein, low carb diet, especially if you've got something like I do, like PCOS. I did not start doing keto treats until I was seeing like weight consistently come off. So I'm still kind of stuck at this weight right now that I've gained from being pregnant. So I'm not doing keto treats. And those are things like you can make keto brownies, you can make keto pizza dough, things like that. They never stalled my weight loss the first time. So don't let people scare you out of them. No, you cannot sit there and eat a whole pan of keto brownies. But you can have one every day. I had one every day and I still lost a bunch of weight and felt good. Let me get back to the feeling good. It's about feeling good and being not sick to your stomach anymore and not bloated. What I was saying was, let's not get hooked up on the, losing weight necessarily. You want to feel better. Also, I found a really, really good sweetener for my coffee that I liked. I use xylitol. It's in my vlog. I found a 2.5 pound bag off Amazon for a really good price. It will tear your stomach up if you're not careful, so be very careful. I don't like the taste of monk fruit. I do not like stevia. I can't stomach it. I'd rather not have it if I have to take or eat stevia. So you just find what works for you. Some people love stevia, some people love monk fruit. If you're super into the low carb or keto thing, there's keto approved sweeteners. And I don't know if they approve, I think they do approve xylitol, but they don't like Splenda or sucralose, and they're iffy on stevia because it can, throw you out of ketosis or whatever. But like I said, I'm not keto, I'm just low carb. I rambled about that a lot, so maybe I should make a whole separate video like that person asked. So those are all the questions. I hope that I answered them to the fullest extent that y'all were expecting and hoping for. If you have any other questions, you're always free to DM me, like some of y'all already do. I love talking with new people about budget, about life. Like, if I don't get back to your DM right away, I'm probably doing something, but I'll eventually get back to it. I really like talking with y'all, and it makes having this account fun. So head over to my Instagram if you want to kind of see what I'm about. And I know I'm going to get questions on this sweatshirt. So this is from Walmart. I sized up to an XL. It's a little big on the sleeve, so I just kind of like, bunch it up a little bit. But I love camo. It's just my thing for this season. It was only $11. I went back and bought it in another color because it's so cute, and it covers your behind if you're wearing leggings and you're, self-conscious about that, like, because I am. But it's a little shorter in the front. It's just super flattering. So hopefully it's still in stock. If y'all are wanting to get one, it's the Time and True brand. So thank y'all again for coming to my channel, and I'll see y'all in the next video.